They always said the wheel finished what it started. Arms snapped like dry twigs, body laced through splintered spokes, hoisted high for crows and kids to gawk at. But one summer afternoon in 15th century Zurich, the executioner shattered every bone in the prisoner's arms and legs, strung him up, and waited, and waited, and waited. 9 dawns later, the man was still breathing. This is the tale of the nobody who wouldn't quit, the city that couldn't bury a corpse that refused to die, and the punishment so hideous even medieval minds nicknamed it the Devil's Merry-Go-Round. Rewind 24 hours. June 27, 1484. The square's stuffed tighter than market day. The mayor's on a rickety balcony, sweating through velvet, because Zurich hasn't staged a public breaking in months. Down below stands 30-something drifter Niklaus Tucher, posh name. Zero posh blood chained wrist to ankle. Crime? Pinching sacramental cups. Blasphemy against the city's soul, they said. The wheel waits, 6 feet of oak, iron-rimmed, 10 spokes, hub blackened by the last poor soul. The hangman, Herr Himmler, is already drunk on free ale. The crowd can smell it when he grins. Back then the dance went like this. 9 measured blows. Twice on each arm, twice on each leg, once across the spine. After every hit they jam timbers under the joints so the limb folds where God never meant it to. Bones pop like chestnuts in a fire. But here's the twist no one expects. Niklaus never screams. Not once. He clamps his jaw so hard a scribe later writes, "The devil must have stitched his mouth. That silence rattles the mob worse than any plea." And it will echo for the next 9 days. Himmler wipes his brow, signals the helpers, and they weave the limp body through the wheel over until the broken man looks like a hideous spider web. Then they haul the wheel upright on its pole, 16 feet in the air. Theory: gravity drains the blood slow. Shock keeps the heart stuttering. Townsfolk get a long weekend of horror they'll never forget. Reality: the heart doesn't stutter for 3 days. It drums for 9. Day 1 kids pelt pebbles, aiming for dangling feet. Day 2 a priest scales a ladder to whisper last rites. Niklaus turns his head, rasps, "Not today." By day 4 the council meets in hushed tones. No one survives the weekend on the wheel. Ever. Miracle? Satanic pact? Pure mule-headed stubbornness? They haven't a clue. They only know Gallows Hill reeks of infection and honeybees swarm the wheel, lured by seeping wounds. Nighttime torches show a buzzing halo around the victim, some twisted nativity scene. Superstitious citizens leave bread and broth at the base, not kindness, insurance. Maybe if he dies fed, his ghost won't haunt the alleys. The butcher's wife leaves soup. Morning finds it crusted with FLIs. And still, every dawn, that chest rises. Medieval medicine is guesswork wrapped in prayer. A busted arm buys you weeks of poultices. 40 shattered bones means you're a walking corpse. But Niklaus' body plays a cruel trick. The spokes pinch his arteries like tourniquets, staunching the fatal flow. Splintered bones stay loosely linked, forming a gruesome cast. Infection creeps, yet Zurich's cool mountain nights slow sepsis just enough. Fate, it seems, wants him alive longer than anyone deserves. Day 6, the crowd swells to thousands. Pilgrim merchants deter to glimpse the unrotting fruit. A scribe from Lucerne sets up a folding desk, charges 2 pfennigs to add your name beside the miracle. The Bishop of Constance fires off a letter. Heresy or sanctity, pick a side. City fathers panic. They could smash his chest, deliver the merciful blow reserved for the dying, but that undercuts the deterrent. If people think you can cheat the wheel, what's next? They vote. Wait. Day 7 brings rain. Water sluices downhill, pooling under the pole. Niklaus drinks straight off his chin, lips cracked like old paint. A soldier climbs to drape sackcloth. The captain yanks him down. No one helps the condemned. Soaked and fevering, the man hangs on. Rumor says he recited the Lord's Prayer backwards at noon. Others swear he counted raindrops just to prove he still could. Whatever the truth, the city that wanted a spectacle becomes the spectacle, shackled to a heartbeat that won't quit. Day 8. A traveling apothecary offers a vial of nightshade and wine. Smear it on the lips, heart stops in minutes. Council debates price, morals, optics. While they argue, dawn of day 9 creeps in gray, heavy, and eerily quiet. Even the bees have vanished. Niklaus pries open swollen eyes. Witnesses agree on what follows. He tries to speak, can't, but mouths a name Anna. No one knows who Anna is. Lover? Sister? Mother he never met? The crowd hears it anyway, carried on a breath that shouldn't exist. Then, as sun clears the grossum terspire, the breathing simply stops. No final shudder, no slump, just a tiny click in the throat, like a lute string snapping. Silence stretches until the mayor clears his throat and mutters, "Cut him down." They lower the wheel at noon. Emler cracks the corpse's ribs to fit it into a narrow coffin. Rigor mortis has locked the limbs in their woven shape. Lime, lid, nails, unmarked pit outside the walls. But the story's not over. That night lightning splits the sky, strikes the pole, chars it black. Preachers call it God's signature. Kids now avoid the hill after dusk. Mothers warn toddlers, be good or Tucker'll count your heartbeats. Within a decade, the breaking wheel disappears from Zurich slow books, replaced by the more dignified sword. Historians argue whether Niklaus' 9-day ordeal speeded the change. No one wants an encore. Zoom out. Across Europe, the wheel is fading. Prussia writes the final chapter in 1841, but Swiss cantons shelve it earlier. Enlightenment thinkers like Cesare Beccaria brand prolonged executions a school of cruelty, teaching citizens brutality, not virtue. Yet the scar lingers. The German word Veredert, literally wheeled, survives as slang for utterly wrecked. Carnival rides with spokes and hubs still earn the nickname Katharina Rad in Bavaria, a joke no one explains to tourists. Back in Zurich, archives list Niklaus as malefactor. No kin, possessions auctioned to pay the scaffold bill. The scribe's parchment, though, FLIs off tables. Copies pop up in Basel, Strasbourg, London. English pamphleteers spin 9 days wonder of the unyielding thief, blaming papist cruelty. Modern psychologists cite the case when talking extreme stress response. Endorphins, shock, stubbornness. The body can survive unimaginable trauma. 9 days might be the outer edge. Niklaus pushed until the envelope shredded in his hands. So what sticks to your ribs from a man who wouldn't die on a wheel? 1. Medieval justice was savage, but its own citizens could recoil when forced to watch. 2. The human will is a weird, wired thing, starved, shattered, displayed like butcher's meat. Niklaus clung to life, maybe for spite, maybe love, maybe habit. His refusal became a mirror. Townsfolk saw fellow mortal, and the reflection unsettled them more than any crime. 3. History remembers names only when they serve a narrative. We know Saint Catherine because the wheel shattered. We know Niklaus Tucher because it didn't. One miracle gave hope, the other horror. Both steered culture. Today, capital punishment debates still hinge on deterrence versus humanity. The wheel is gone, yet the questions remain. What cruelty will we sanction in justice's name? And when the public sees the gritty details, will they too decide enough is enough? 9 days of agony. 9 dawns of crowds, prayers, bets, sleepless councilmen, buzzing bees, and one heartbeat measuring time like a stubborn drum. The man who wouldn't die changed more than his own ending. He helped kill the very machine built to kill him. So next time you hear "rot in hell," remember Niklaus Tucher. He almost did, publicly, literally, and still chose the thinnest thread of life longer than nature allowed, until even death shrugged and said, "Fine, you win." History isn't just dates and kings. It's ordinary people holding on, breaking rules, and sometimes, just sometimes, breaking the wheel itself.